Hi SILEM stars, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, please do well to subscribe down below. It's free and it helps my channel grow a whole lot. In today's video guys, I'm going to be showing you how to make a ruffle tulle corset dress with exaggerated sleeve. Okay, now this dress is a corset dress, okay, and then it has an exaggerated sleeve with ruffle tulle design both on the exaggerated sleeve as well as on the skirt part of the dress. And this dress is just absolutely stunning guys. I'm so excited. It's a dress I made for my client and she absolutely loved it. Okay, so if you want to see how to make this dress from start to finish, definitely keep on watching. Also, do not forget that I have a corset online class that is very detailed. So if you don't know how to make a corset dress, you're a beginner, you have no idea, I got you. Okay, you can simply register for my corset online course. I'm going to leave the details in the pinned comments down below, so be sure to check it out. I'm also going to leave my other corset tutorials here on YouTube that are free. You can check them out. I'm going to leave the corset tutorials playlist in the pinned comments as well. So definitely check the comment section for my pinned comments and all the details you need. So without further ado, let's get right into this lovely tutorial.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there.
So this is the mermaid skirt we're going to be using for our dress. I've already gone ahead to create the slits. Now I'm going to measure, from the hem all the way up to the waist. So what I have here is 43, and when I measure the other slit, what I have is about, I think, 42 and a half. But I'm just going to approximate it to 43 inches. Now for my tulle, I'm using 10 yards of tulle. This is soft tulle or soft net. Now the width of my tulle that I'm cutting is 10 inches. That's how wide I want the tulle to be. If you want yours to be smaller, you can obviously reduce that width. But for me, I want mine to be 10 inches wide. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along that line. Now obviously the width of this is 10 inches and the length is 10 yards, okay, because I folded 10 yards of my fabric. Okay, so I'm going to be using that to cut some more. I'm going to keep cutting until I exhaust my fabric. Okay, now I'm going to unfold the pieces I have. Just unfold it so that I have it folded just once. Okay, when it's folded just once, it means I have 2 layers of the tulle, as you can see. I'm also going to place the other 2 layers. Remember that I cut out 2. I cut out this piece twice, so I'm going to lay the other one on top of the first one I laid on the table. So what I have here in total is 4 layers of tulle. Okay, and I'm laying another one on top of that. Okay, so because this piece is folded, it is now 5 yards long. Okay, it is folded once. It was 10 yards, but it's folded once, so it's now 5 yards long. Now I'm going to measure the width of my piece and I'm going to mark the midpoint of that. So the midpoint of 10 inches is obviously 5 inches. And then I've gone ahead to sew gather stitches along that midpoint line. And now what I'm doing is I'm just simply gathering it. This is how to create ruffles with tulle. All you have to do is sew at the center and then gather it. So you gather it by pulling on the bobbin thread. The bobbin thread is the thread that comes out at the bottom. Okay, so you just pull on the bobbin thread while using your fingers to just push the fabric. Be careful so you don't cut the thread, because if you cut the thread you have to start all over again. Okay, so be careful with that. So I'm just gathering it all the way, making sure that it's tightly gathered. This is what it looks like. Okay, now back to my skirt. I'm going to go ahead and place the ruffles on my skirt, and I'm going to go ahead and sew right at the edge of the slit, but then I'm going to sew right at the center of the tulle. So the same line that I sewed that gather stitches, that's where I'm going to sew when I'm joining the ruffles to the skirt. Same thing with the other slit. I'm also going to attach the ruffles to the other side of the slit. Okay, I have a detailed tutorial on how to make a mermaid skirt. I'm going to link that in the pinned comments. So just go ahead and sew along that center. So once you're done, this is what we have. I've gone ahead to join the front part of my skirt to the back, and I've also joined it to the top part of my corset. Now make sure that when you're attaching the ruffles, you're attaching the ruffles only to the front piece. So attach it before you join it to your back piece of your skirt, so it's not difficult for you. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach my structured sleeves. I also have a structured sleeve tutorial. This structured sleeve now I'm going to use, I've gone ahead to insert boning channels on my structured sleeve. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the ruffle. Now the ruffle I used for the structured sleeve is not as wide as the one for the skirt. The one for the structured sleeve is 5 inches wide, and then I sewed right at the center like I did for the one on the skirt. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pin the structured sleeve, the ruffle rather. I'm going to pin the ruffle to the structured sleeve, and then I'm going to go ahead and sew along the center just like I did for the skirt ruffles. This is what we have here. Now I'm going to go ahead and insert my boning. This is a 1/2 inch wide plastic boning. Now when I insert it, I'm going to make sure that I don't insert it all the way to the end. I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch at the end, and then also at the part where I inserted the boning, on both ends I'm going to make sure that I have at least 1/2 inches space in that boning channel, because if you insert it all the way to the end, when you sew along that end, what's going to happen is that you're going to break your needle. Okay, so just make sure you have 1/2 inch on both ends. Okay, 1/2 inch on this end here and this end here. So I'm going to insert the two bonings now. I'm going to insert the second boning, as you can see. Now if you notice, when I attached the ruffle, I left some excess of the ruffle when I was attaching it to the structured sleeve, and I'm going to show you why I did that in a minute. Okay, that is optional if that is not what you are going for, but I'm going to explain to you why I left that excess ruffle when I attached it to the structured sleeve. Now you want to go ahead and use your lighter and fire to make sure that the ends of your boning are not too sharp. Okay, so once you've attached the boning into your structured sleeve, this is what you're going to have. Look at how lovely it looks. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and attach our structured sleeve to the strap of our corset. Now this is the excess tool I told you about. Now what we're going to do with that is that we're going to attach that to the center front. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and pin the end of the structured sleeve to the strap of the dress. Now the reason why you need straps for your dress is so that when you attach the structured sleeves, it doesn't fall flat. Okay, so I'm going to be pinning the ends of the structured sleeves to the straps, both in front and at the back. Just pin it, and the way you pin it is the same way you're going to sew it to the straps. Okay, so now once we're done pinning it, the excess ruffle that I left, that I told you about, we're going to be sewing this to the center front of the corset, just so that the ruffles look like they are starting from the center front and then just going all the way up to the sleeves, and it just looks seamless that way. So we're just going to make sure that we are sewing along that center, along that same line that we sewed the gather stitches. We're going to sew that to the center front. And this is the finished look, guys. I really love how this dress turned out. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.